All right. I'm hoping that I can get this up right here. All right, everyone. How are you doing? Can everybody hear me okay? Can everybody hear me and see me okay? Hey there, Herbert. I am riding solo today, and this is not my forte to get this set up. So I'm hoping this is coming through loud and clear. Don, thank you very much. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, I know it is loud. I am live back down here in the CBOE S&P 500 options pit. It is, as you could imagine, rocking and rolling. What's up, gents? How are you? It is rocking and rolling. So right now, as we speak, we are on. Thank you, Kim. We are pretty much on the lows of the days right now. I don't recall a day I've seen the S&P's down 259 points. That's right, 259 points. The VIX is right now, spot VIX is 40.25. It ticked as high as 45 and a half. It's up 10 points or basically 30 some odd percent on the day. All right. So you can see, I'm hoping everybody can see the activity back here. It is really loud. I'm hoping that you can hear me as well. I'm going to give you an update here, and then also if you guys can all tune in 2 hours, basically at 2 o'clock Central Time. I will be on Fox Business Live with Liz Clayman from the floor right here. I'm going to be moving around from inside the S&P 500 pit here over to the VIX pit. All right, someone just bought 1,000 of something. I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't hear what it was. I'm looking up on the tape right now, and it looks like those were the September expiration 5,000 puts just traded for $260. $260. Wow. The June 51.75 puts are trading $257 right now. I'm just trying to give you guys literally a live look at what is going on all around me. And for those of you that don't know, I actually traded in this pit when I worked for Goldman Sachs. When I worked for Goldman Sachs, I traded. I ran their S&P 500 operation here. So the most wild time I was ever in this pit, and I've traded since 1991 on the floor, but the most wild time that I traded in this pit was during the great financial crisis, '08, '09. Okay? But you're talking about an S&P level that at that point was down, 1,000, 1,500. And we know that the bottom, the absolute bottom it was the devil, 666. That was the bottom. So percentage wise, I traded as, in a time where, what are we down right now? 4%, basically, a little over 4%. Percentage wise, I traded in a time where we saw moves like that. Okay. But obviously move wise 200 plus points, nuts, crazy, 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 crazy. Can you guys still hear me okay? Well, I will tell you that even in the midst of the chaos that's going on right now, everybody is enjoying their lunch and their pizza. Boy, that's something that certainly was a lot different from when I was down here. When I was down here, we could not bring food or drink onto the floor. We would get fined big time. I definitely racked up my fines along my tenure here, but to me it was worth taking the risk of actually gobbling down a sandwich or eating something in the pit so I didn't have to leave the pit and potentially miss a really good trade. So that was my kind of risk reward, but right now it doesn't matter. But this is really, really busy. The way the pit is set up here, and I'm going to just step out so you guys can hopefully still hear me, but see the, most of the pit anyway. The way the pit is set up is on the outskirts around the edges here. Though I feel like a weatherman right now pointing to a virtual screen. Anyway, the people looking in, those are the brokers that have the orders. All of the market makers, the traders, the locals, those are all the people in the middle kind of looking out. So there are brokers situated around the entire perimeter of the pit. And there's probably, let's say one, two, there's probably 6 or 7 really big brokerage groups. What's up, Billy? 6 or 7 really big brokerage groups. And how are you? Good, 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 good. Sorry, guys, some CBOE people here that I'm saying hi to. So the traders, the market makers, they can trade with anybody. They can trade with other market makers. They can trade with any broker in the pit. But basically where your spot is, where you're situated, you're going to trade with that broker most of the time. So there are preferred brokers that you'd like to be with, brokers that get bigger size orders, the majority of the orders. So when I was trading with Goldman Sachs, if you can look kind of, I just moved the screen. So if you guys see the 2 big screens probably in your upper left hand corner there, those screens are showing what is trading right now, market updates. Right below those screens in the back left corner of your screen, there's a few guys, few brokers looking our way in green jackets. Dr. J hasn't been here for 20 years. Um, the brokers in the green jackets, they typically had the best, biggest, largest orders in the pit. So when I worked for Goldman Sachs, I actually stood right next to them. Why is that? Well, if they're going to bring in the biggest orders to the pit, they want to know that the market makers surrounding them are going to be able to take that size volume down. Obviously, when I was trading for Goldman Sachs, excuse me, that was not an issue whatsoever. All right, guys, let's enough of this, and I will, if you guys want, I'll come back to let you guys see the screen here when there's something going on, or when I see something. And the S&P's made a little bit of a rally, and now we're back down towards the low of the day. But I put out a piece this morning. Okay, Wednesday, we all know that was tagged as Liberation Day, right? Well, is it capitulation day? And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Well, for the longest time here, guys, for a month, maybe 2 months, and I'm going to show you these charts here in a moment, we saw the VIX. We saw the VIX trading higher, back off, trading higher, back off, trading higher, back off. And it never got to, let me go forward here. Come on. Okay. It never got past that level right there. That is 30, 30-ish in the VIX. Okay. Nothing magical about that number at all, other than that is kind of historically, and this is a 2-year chart here. I'm going to put up a lifetime chart of the VIX here shortly. Nothing magical about that other than when the VIX has exceeded 30 in the past, that has been really kind of that capitulation environment. What do I mean by that? That's been when the most panic has set in. People have said, enough is enough. I'm getting out, and has kind of been a tipping point in the past where that has been a reversal in the markets. Again, I'm going to keep asking you guys this just because I've got no help and I'm flying solo down here. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see me scribbling on the screen right now? I am hoping. There we go. I got that off of there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So this is a 2-year chart, and you can see what happened today. Literally today is here is this. First time this has happened in 2 years. Now, let's take a look here. Let me get a better picture for you here. Here you go. Here is the VIX. Is this the right chart? Yes, this is the VIX lifetime. So the VIX product itself, came out in the mid 90s. Okay. This is 30 plus years of data right here. And what is magical about that 30 level? Well, let me draw that across here. Okay, kind of right there. How many times did we exceed 30? Well, here, and I'm really squinting to see this. Sorry, everybody. Okay, right here. You know what that was? That first line right there? That was the turn of the century. That was the Y2K freaking everybody out, right? Maybe the beginning of the dot-com bubble. You know, what happened though? Okay, what do we have here? For those of you that are old enough to remember, and where the S&Ps are on the low of the day right now, down 267 points, what do we have right there? That was the long-term capital LTC debacle. What do we have here? What do you think that is right there, everybody? What is that? There's a nice big, I don't know if it's a college crew up here or a high school group, which I bring down to the floor all the time here. Yeah, Thomas, exactly. That was the start of, or right in the midst of, the great financial crisis. I was trading in this pit when we saw the VIX get to that level. Okay. But like all things, as we know, as we talk about every day, as we train, volatility always reverts, right? It reverts back to its mean. Okay. Couple blips in here, couple blips in here. We got it here. And then what do you think that was? Yeah, the most recent one where VIX actually touched the highest on record, that was COVID. That was COVID. Okay. And since then, we haven't seen a move like this. Okay. So in all of these instances, when VIX spiked like this, which panic set in to the marketplace, what did we see afterwards? A reversal. Okay. A reversal, not just in volatility, but a reversal in the marketplace. So these arrows that I am just so childishly scribbling on the screen right now, those are those points of capitulation. Those are those points where market makers, investors, traders, hedge funds, institutional clientele. That is the point where in the past, they've done this. They've waved the white flag. Okay. Now, is that where we are right now? Maybe. Maybe. Actually, on Black Monday, Guillermo, the VIX was not even a product back then. That was in 1987. The VIX product came out in the middle of the 1990s. Okay, so are we at that point here? There's a lot of signs that are pointing to this right now. Okay, however, what is different? What is different about this time than the rest? And we could say that, right? Every time we experience this spike in the VIX, whether it was due to Y2K and the dot-com bubble, whether it was due to long-term capital, whether it was due to the great financial crisis, whether it was due to COVID, we can always say, well, this time is different, right? Different scenarios. This time is different. What is different about this time is we have something going on that could be, I'm not saying this is going to happen. This could be a complete reset for our economy, and for all the corporations out there in the world, especially, you know, in the S&P 500. This is a wild card where we do not know. And everybody, I am not being political here. I'm not choosing a side. I'm calling it like it is. We don't know what the heck the news flow out of Washington is going to be on any any minute, let alone any day or any week, any minute. Okay. Is this just a game they're playing? Is this something that is going to continue for a month, 6 months, 2 years? Okay. The best economists in the world say this is a disaster. They say this is an absolute disaster. Jerome Powell, about an hour and a half ago, spoke that, boy, there is so much uncertainty that the Fed has to re-gauge their inflation targets because they didn't prepare that this sort of tariff, trade war, whatever you want to call it, could impact things so badly. Okay. But as we know, all it takes is a simple tweet, simple news conference, simple, whatever it is. President can be on the 16th hole golfing and he hits a putt and says, you know what? No more tariffs. And I'm making light of that, but I'm being honest with what can happen. So we don't know. The other things, even though we were going through it, the great financial crisis, yes, that wasn't a one-off. That was not a one-day event. That lasted a while. But we knew the situation that we were in at the time. Okay. COVID, say the same thing. We didn't know. Nobody, I didn't know. You didn't know. Nobody knew what tomorrow was going to bring, let alone a year from 3 years from then. Okay. But like every other scenario where we have been through this, once that news is out, once the uncertainty of that news is out, what happens? Volatility comes in, whether the news is good, bad, or indifferent. Good, bad, or indifferent. Just like in an earnings call, right? Once a company announces their earnings, whether those results are good, bad, or indifferent, what do we see happen with that volatility? It implodes, it normalizes, it reverts back to its mean. But here, we don't know. A lot of people, myself included, Wednesday, we thought that, okay, whatever that decision was going to be, whatever the announcement was going to be, at least there would be some clarity. At least some of that uncertainty would be removed from the marketplace. And it was completely the opposite. That's why, that is why we are seeing this spike right now. Now, is this sustainable? Is this sustainable? No, it's not. Before I go into that, and I just pulled this has actually changed a little bit. This is from a half an hour ago. This is the VIX futures curve. That has changed right now because as I'm looking live right now, the current spot value of the VIX, which just 30 minutes ago was right here around 39, it's now trading 41.95. But what I am showing here is if you notice, and those of you that were listening in my room earlier, we talked about this. But if you notice, what do you see here? We see prices going down in the future. Prices going down in the future. That is not typical. That is not normal. If you think about any at all product out there that trades on a futures platform, gold, oil, okay, whatever it is, the normal curve, prices are higher in the future. Okay. When we see a normal curve like that, that is called contango. Okay. Not that you have to know that, but that is called contango. When we get into a situation like this, where all of a sudden everybody wants what is going on right now. Everybody wants to buy that protection right this second, and they don't really care about the future, whether that future is 2 weeks, 2 months, a year from now. What happens? We see that volatility. We see that supply and demand change the dynamics of the marketplace. It raises the prices of what everybody wants, which is that product right here, right now. And the prices further out kind of get left by the wayside a little bit. When we see that happen, which is the environment we're in right now, that is called backwardation. When current prices are higher than futures prices. Historically, the market is in contango, so that normal curve 85 or so percent of the time. 15% of the time a situation like this happens, or something, maybe not even, something exogenous to this effect, to this extent. But something happens where, I got to get my protection, right? And you see those current prices really react. Okay. But then things normalize really quickly. I would be really, really surprised, even with the market on its heels down wherever 20% from the highs, wherever we are. I'd be really surprised if this backwardation lasts even to the end of next week. I would be really surprised if that happens. So back to this right here, guys. Trying to bring a little levity into the conversation because I know everybody's kind of on edge, waiting until the end of the day. It's the weekend, right? You guys all remember this scene from Ferris Bueller? Robert DB, there we go. I can tango with you. I can samba with you. I don't know about the cha cha cha. I don't know if my knees are going to hold up for the cha cha cha. But being a pretty fit Jewish young man, I can do the hora for you. I can hora with you. Anyway, everybody know what this picture is from here? This is from one of our all-time favorite movies, Ferris Bueller, kind of prescient that this is now at the forefront. This is a scene where it was anyone, Bueller. And what was the topic he was talking about? He was talking about tariffs. He was talking about Smoot Hawley tariffs back in the 1930s that were the worst thing for our economy, probably since what's going on right now. Okay. So you're going to see this a lot probably on social media and this post, but just trying to bring a little levity into the marketplace. All right. Let's get a live look here. Let me bring this in here and refresh the page. So there we go. On the slideshow that I made for you, which was, half an hour, 40 minutes old, you saw what that VIX curve was. Most people did, John. Most people just remember the Bueller, anyone, right? But they don't really remember what he was talking about. But you can see here, even though all of the VIX futures are higher, by expiration here, where is the panic? Where are people demanding that protection? Right here. And why does the VIX shoot up like that in the current contract or next week's contract and not as much in the outliers? Well, supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. More buyers than there are sellers for these options that expire this coming week. Everything is based on supply and demand. Okay, boy, there's a little lull here. A little lull. The market, I'm not going to say rallied, but the market just ticked higher by, as this guy right next to me here just said, bounced off the lows. That's exactly what I'm telling everybody here. Yep, there's our bounce. Don't you feel better about that? Don't you feel better about that bounce? All right. Yeah, so they're saying the same thing here. All right, guys. Any questions? Any questions for anybody here? Unfortunately, I don't have a word of the day for everybody because again, I'm running solo. I could not spin the wheel here. I'm lucky enough that I was able to get the computer hooked up right on the floor here. Yeah, but you know what I am gonna do? You know what I am gonna do? I am literally, because I think I can do this. Hopefully I don't disconnect everybody here. I think I can do this. TOS sent out an announcement about circuit breakers a few minutes ago. Hey, what are the S&P circuit breakers down how much?
Seven is 15 minutes, and it's like 13. And
Because I guess Thinkorswim just sent out some notifications.
I think like 50 half. Yeah. The circuit breaker.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, guys. Okay. So they're telling me that 700 points in the S&Ps is going to be the first breaker. Okay, so if we got, I don't know, we'll see here, but nobody here is 7%. Yeah, there you go, 7%. So I didn't mean 700 points. I meant 7%. So yeah, so 50 and a half in the S&Ps, basically. So we're about 100, just 100 points away from that. But hey, you never know what's going to happen. Never know what's going to happen. There, thank you, Bear. 7, 13, and 20. So far, we've just moved 30 points off the bottom. Doesn't even seem like anything, to be quite honest with you. All right, guys. So I am going to randomly here because I can go through all the people here in the chat, and I am just moving my mouse. I want everybody to be, I don't know if you can see me here. I'm literally just kind of spinning the chat right here. And Ty Hoffman, are you still here? Oh, Ty Hoffman, are you still in the room? Because if you are, you randomly came up as the winner here. Barry's always on it, John. Bear is always on it. When I'm fumbling for the right words to say or the right data points, Bear's always there. He's got my back. Ty Hoffman, awesome. Awesome. I know I don't have anything to show for it right now, but I am going to type this in here. I know you've won before. Shoot me an email, please, at Prosper Swag. Ty, you're the one that won the swag. You're the one that won the swag today. I was able to at least do a random draw of the people in the room here. So, all right, oh, it is picking up here again. So behind me, I'm going to step aside here for a second, guys. Hang on. Okay, so if you guys can look kind of straight under that CBOE Silex banner, okay? I don't know exactly what the order was, but I know that he was trying to buy something. The reason I know he's trying to buy something is because the traders, the market makers that are facing him, all had their hands up with their palms out. Okay. Their palms out like this rather than like this. If I'm trading in here and I want to offer something or sell something, there we go. There you can see it live right now. If I want to sell something, I'm offering like this, I'm buying like this. So I don't know what the broker was bidding for, but I know that these market makers wanted to sell it. All right, everybody. I'm going to head back upstairs to our office. If you can, absolutely tune in. Remember, I'm going to be live. Ty, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And when you send me that email, Ty, let me know what we've sent you in the past so we can send you something new. 2:00 Central. It's actually like 2:01 or 2:02. I will be back down on the floor here live with Liz Clayman. I won't have my Prosper vest on. I'll have a sport coat on. The Fox Business likes to, dress up a little bit, but I will be down here live with Fox Business just after 2:00. Yes, Bear. See, Bear, there we go again. He's got my back. Smash that like button. Everybody, I appreciate all of you. We're going to get through this, everybody. We are definitely going to get through this all together. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.